If we don't stop soon, we'll all be dying.
One of the first lines is basically the thesis of the game.
Stay strong. Stay with me.
Stay with me is the most important part of that, as he is nothing without these people backing his crazy ass.
We ain't run into them yet, so they both must have headed down the hill.
Dutch changes so subtly, you forget how he was at the start, ready to brave the storm to look for John, where he abandons him 3 times later.
He hasn't seen them.
He'll be fine. Things always turn out right for that boy.
In the context of this game, yes. In the other one, no.
What's going on?
So casual.
I'll take you.
Leave her alone.
I wasn't doing nothing.
From the moment we meet Sadie, she's a fighter.
Oh, you fool!
Micah is the reason Sadie loses her first and second home. When I first met Micah, I hated him so much. Little did I know how much more I would hate him.
We're bad men. We ain't them.
Honesty? The score here is hands down perfect. It sounds great and knows when to take a backseat and when to take center stage.
What? How come Arthur gets a room and I get a bunk bed next to Bill Williamson and a bunch of darkies?
From the very start, Micah's got unrest towards Arthur, but this also shows how entitled he feels. Dude has literally only been with the group for 6 months.
Dutch killed a girl in a bad way.
Dutch has always been the man we see him become. Just gets harder to hide his true nature while squeezed the way they are later.
I don't know about this, Javier. I mean, we can't follow nothing.
The why you following Dutch? So many lines relate to the main story and I love it.
John was riding that horse when we left Blackwater.
Make sure you check inside for John. Remember this setup of Arthur and John riding down the mountain to the gang.
When I fall, I don't want no fuss.
When you fall, there'll be a party.
Damn straight.
He said revenge is a luxury we can't afford.
This is the right call, Arthur.
The way Dutch talks about Colm and the train robbery, going back and forth with his ideals, it's such a perfect example of him gaslighting everyone. Maybe I've met too many of these types of people before, but I saw the writing on the wall with Dutch from chapter 1. Love that Dutch rides an albino horse. Our knights that save the day ride white horses, and albino animals in the animal kingdom are more often to be treated as outcasts, just like Dutch.
Like you said, revenge is a luxury we can't afford.
Yeah, just wasn't sure you agreed with me.
Arthur, have you completely lost faith in me? Our needs right now are supplies, equipment, and a way out of here. Everything else, including Colm, can wait.
Oh, what happened to hitting the train and killing Colm? Now all of a sudden it's your idea that the gang is more important? Fuck this guy.
We allowed ourselves to get a step behind in Blackwater. That won't happen again.
And for the rest of their days, they will always be one step behind. As much as my impatient ass didn't enjoy all the long animations, that doesn't take away from the amazing amount of work that went into creating them. The minimal amount of clipping and fluidity of the animations are top of its class, bar none.
Since I was a boy.
20 years.
Yeah. He taught me to read. John, too.
I was gonna say that John and Arthur experience a level of Stockholm Syndrome with Dutch, but that feels a little dramatic. Better put, when it comes to family, people have big blind spots that are hard to reveal.
Why are we doing this? Weather's breaking, we could leave. I thought we was lying low.
Hosea is constantly trying to be the voice of reason and temper Dutch's worst impulses, so it makes sense that his death is a big turning point for Dutch.
Here we go.
Of course, something goes wrong with the plan.
Arthur, you're in that one. Bring Hosea. I know you two like to talk about the good old days and what's gone wrong with old Dutch.
The whole first chapter of this game is a microcosm for most all that transpires. They're moving camp, they fight O'Driscolls, Dutch wants to score against everyone's wishes, the plan goes wrong, Law shows up, the money wasn't big enough, move camp, along with the questioning and doubting of Dutch. The ride out of the mountains is the last real piece that the gang gets to enjoy before everything falls apart.
Just saying. Well, say less.
Why have I never retorted in that manner before?
If they wanted trouble, we wouldn't have seen them.
Normally, it's 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but what we see at the top are 3 natives. Dutch later helps the natives. I like to see him as the 4th. Now, the 4 horsemen are harbingers of the end times. I see this as some perverse symbology of the natives and outlaws' time coming to an end. I like that Hosea uses dual pistols like Dutch, but flipped. The draw for this position is called cavalry draw, and makes seated draws much easier. I like to think that Hosea is more of a talker and would need easier access to his guns if talk goes sour.
Arthur and I were about to prosper in Blackwater. We were onto something big. Then Micah got you all excited about that ferry, and here we are.
Of course it was Micah's plan that went south.
Arthur and I were about to prosper in Blackwater. We were onto something big.
It seems that Arthur and Hosea are the righteous versions of Dutch and Micah.
Be west of Uncle Sam. In a few months, buy some land.
Funny that Dutch's plan involves buying land, which is directly participating in capitalism he so seeks to be free from.
There's a bunch of the boys already in Valentine, and Swanson found something. And Strauss came back with that creepy little smile on his face.
And you?
I'm gonna read a book.
Everyone's talking about going out and doing jobs for the gang, while Hosea, the most wise, reads a book. Maybe you should let Jack read his books, John. Joe Armanois, who voices Karen, actually messed up the song in the booth, and everyone just laughed and rolled along with it, and Rockstar kept it in the game.
Here's to your good health, my sir.
Of course, it was Uncle that jinxed it.
Goddamn animal. Come here!
It only takes one hit to knock this abuser creep. That's because anyone who'd act in this manner is a little bitch.
I kill people. And maybe I should have killed you. Should I have killed you, Jimmy Brooks?
Damn, does Roger Clark murder it as Arthur. There is a reason he won the award for best performance, and shit like this is why.
Excuse me.
Of course, one of the most famous pieces of ragtime has to play at the start of this western. Bar fights are so funny. One guy starts having an issue, and for some reason, everyone's got to fight. Javier just bottles this man, and Charles throws a chair.
There'll be Pinkertons all over the place, but if he's alive, we gotta try.
Man, you completely forget that this Dutch existed by the end.
You know, in Imperial Rome, eunuchs was among the happiest and most loyal of courtiers.
You should have gotten a camp full of them then, Dutch.
You know, you all ain't that different from the O'Driscolls.
Love that Kieran compares the two because there really isn't much difference in them, especially by the end.
You all right?
Killing former friends is a great way to make new ones, I guess.
I am free.
You don't seem free, friend. You seem drunk.
Well, to a drunk, those are one and the same.
Don't make no mistake on that subject. Now, secondly, he can't hardly see, let alone reason. Now, reasoning ain't never been one of my strong points neither, but seeing I do just fine.
Fun and smart writing like this is why everyone loves this story. It's witty, funny, and informs Arthur's character.
Come on, Reverend, let's get you home.
Notice that Arthur goes to kick a reverend that isn't there.
Talking to you.
Gentlemen.
So courteous.
Just a simple mistake. You can still be saved.
Literally and emotionally. I mean, hell, by the end, Swanson stops drinking.
I wish I was different.
Don't we all? Joel in The Last of Us Part 2 looks a lot like my Arthur does here.
We are smarter than them. Only the feeblest of men take jobs in the government.
Oh, I'll remember that when you take up a job as sheriffs in Rhodes, Dutch.
What's going on?
They got Micah. He's been arrested for murder.
Oh, good.
That kid into town. Valentine, not Strawberry. Get him drunk.
For all of Dutch's faults, at least early he could show some compassion.
Buddy, shut up, mister.
Yeah, shut your mouth, mister.
This drunk montage is so good. It's just like drunk people to go from fighting one moment and dancing together the next. Even the dialogue options are misspelled.
You gotta do something.
I always looked up to you, Arthur.
Looks up to him because Arthur's got what he wants.
Yeah, well, you ain't funny at all, so why you gotta act like the court
All
jester?
right, listen. But we're family now, Arthur.
You?
Arthur spits on the idea that Micah could ever be family.
We can't be rescuing people from some federal prison. We either rescue him now or cut him loose.
Yeah, Arthur definitely changed by the end. Shit. Here, he's ready to cut him loose because of a small town jail. Later, he breaks John out of what is basically a max security prison. Call me a psycho, but the sound of the blade hitting their necks is so satisfying every time.
I would kill for it, I would happily die for it. But in spite of all of that, I would have easily left you here to rot if Charles hadn't stopped me.
That's Arthur's way of saying he loves you, Sean. I'm the same way with my family.
Well, if it's pleasure you're after, there is one other. This farmer preacher fellow, Mr. Downs.
In a way, Downs does offer him pleasure through kickstarting Arthur's journey of self-realization with the TB diagnosis.
He wants it back, what's not to understand?
And that's where Arthur gets sick.
Your place.
We already owe more than it's worth.
And the family that gives him his life-redefining illness is living the life that Arthur hopes for John to live by the end.
He's rough and ready and quick with his tongue, but I swear you can trust him and trust me.
Hosea had a bit of a flow with that right there. He should have ended it with son. He's rough and ready and quick with his tongue, but I swear you can trust him and trust me, son. See what I mean?
But I'm not so proud as to not speak to people who care for me, or cared for me.
I love Mary. She's smart and way more mature than most people. In game and in real life.
Where's what's his name?
Died. Happened a while ago. Pneumonia.
Both Mary's lovers died from lung-related illnesses. Neat.
You've been made a widow and you come here looking for me, is that it?
It's so fun seeing Arthur under this awkward lens, as so far we've seen the hard, rough, and tumble Arthur.
Gentlemen!
Shell of safety. Shell of safety. Shell of safety. Shell of safety.
Who are my heroes?
You got the practical, glancing answer of turtles, but the one I'm more interested in is fools. Because Dutch has been Arthur's hero for so long, but so often lately he's referred to himself and the gang as fools, which they are. This cult is no different than Arthur's in all reality.
There ain't no shame in looking for a better world.
No, there isn't, but there is shame in offering advice that justifies shitty actions.
I'm not good at anything.
Come on, that ain't true. Tell me something you like.
Why is Arthur a better father than John?
Thank you.
It's good to see you, Mary.
Oh, Arthur is still sweet on her.
You might be the first bastard to ever have half his brains eaten by a wolf and end up more intelligent.
Compliments?
You better sleep with your eyes open.
Yeah, well, you're gonna sleep with your chest open if you ain't careful, boy.
I love you, Arthur Morgan.
This is honestly how me and the boys joke with each other.
Come on, take your best shot, please.
Arthur being the muscle of the gang doesn't go without its reasons.
I'm gonna make sure she slows.
Let's do or die with you. I like it.
What a badass. Not always does RDR2 go for striking cinematography, but when it does, it hits.
Can I ask you a favor?
Probably not.
That's kind of how I answer phones. I'll go, what the fuck do you want?
Good. Let's go get your pole then. Now, you do have a fishing pole, don't you?
I sure do. Uncle Jose made me one.
Good. Well, let's go get it then. Go catch us some fish.
Like I asked, why is Arthur a better father than John?
But until then, you just sit and wait and try not to worry. It's good for you.
Not worrying too much is good advice, Arthur.
Orphan street kid seduced by that maniac's silver tongue and matures into a degenerate murderer.
With how good Milton just did a character analysis on Dutch, he should run this channel.
$5,000 for your head alone.
$5,000 for me? Can I turn myself in?
People venerate savagery, and you will die. Savagely. All of you.
Oh, we're all gonna die, Agent.
Some of us sooner than others.
Good day, Mr. Morgan.
Goodbye.
Though they're at each other's throats, Arthur's not proud enough to not bid Milton adieu.
You want rescuing again, dear?
No. I got a plan to make it up to you.
Micah taking the worst qualities of Dutch already. I like that Micah wears a white hat and later a white suit, thinking he's some white knight good guy doing his best for the gang.
Fine new rifle, too. Here you go, Arthur. From me to you.
Don't try and make us like Micah.
Shit! Now we're being robbed! Get across the river!
See, how different are you really from the O'Driscolls?
Big shadow, tiny tree. And like I said, that still don't mean nothing.
I can't tell if Arthur is serious about not knowing what that means, or just playing ignorant to not bite into Micah's games.
You see them? Sure. Well, you see yourself as a shepherd now?
One day.
Can't herd, can't swim.
So funny that Rockstar made it canon that John can't swim, as I'm sure it was just a limitation of the times with RDR1.
To your good health.
Twice now we cheers to his health. Not good.
You start spinning the yarn. When I think the moment's right, I'll make a move.
These two both played with their strengths here. Dutch is good at talking while Arthur's the gunslinger.
Looks like I turned into the goddamn errand boy.
You have turned into my son.
Oh yeah, didn't people have kids back in those days for free labor they provide among the farm?
Charles, come on. I need you for something.
Now, where have I heard that before?
Charles is such a loyal companion, doesn't even know what's going on. He's there.
I've only known him a few months, but the way he talks, I never thought I'd see him wanting to head south.
Dutch not wanting to head south is because of a prejudice he holds towards Southerners for killing Daddy.
Wait, Dutch is gonna just hide away in a cave somewhere.
Oh, the irony. The way this woman is holding that shotgun, she is gonna get messed up by it. So, good direction to show she's got no clue how to use this?
Get the hell out of here!
They took off Ozza.
Who did?
So good that Charles doesn't miss a beat to help while Arthur rolls his eyes.
I don't even speak their language.
You ain't as tough and dense as all that.
I love Charles.
Sie wollen Lösegeld erpressen.
How did someone even come up with them words?
Same could be said about English. I don't know much, but I've heard that English is one of the hardest languages to learn if you weren't raised on it.
I'm sorry, friend. I can barely speak English.
My point exactly.
Ich hab gedacht, du seist tot.
Look how happy they are. How is this not reward enough for helping?
Get out of here!
Ja, ja, alles klar.
Vamos!
They're German and he's speaking Spanish.
Dankeschön. Thank you.
But I'm sure the emotional reward wasn't enough for Arthur, so here's some gold. And a lesson that you'll never know how others can help you till you help them.
How you doing, old friend?
The mission names are really well done. Sometimes it's super simple and straightforward, but other times it speaks really well to the themes and narrative of the game.
We are dreamers in an ever duller world of facts. Now,
And all dreamers gotta wake up eventually, right, Dutch?
like where? I got some ideas hatching, but I need you with me, not against me. Both of you.
Of course.
Dutch got a little antagonistic, kind of out of nowhere, showing his true colors just ever so slightly.
How are you, boys?
Fine.
This is quite some country you have here.
We like it well enough.
The way Dutch is able to spin conversation, it's a wonder why he hates civilization. He'd fit right in.
Old Anders Anderson. So what now?
Take him in, come on.
Whoever names their son Anders with the surname Anderson has got a good sense of humor.
Better be ugly rumors. Is it true you were seen talking to that wretched Penelope Braithwaite?
This is a quick little line that seems inconsequential as it's quickly said off screen, but actually comes back around later.
And if you don't stop hissing at me, I'm gonna kill you.
You come near me, sailor, and I'll slice you up.
Sadie is one of my favorite characters. She's believably headstrong and not in an annoying way.
Where's that letter?
Are you reading his mail now?
Oh, robbing and killing's okay, but letter reading's where we draw the line.
Here.
Sadie makes a good point, and Morgan obliges.
I have traveled widely, making no small name for myself.
You can't judge a man for trying to find love, can you?
So, what's the plan? I shoot the shopkeeper while you...
No! You insane?
I thought we was outlaws.
This is super cute. May my crush begin. And her new threads are looking clean, along with this being a permanent reminder to everyone that meets her that she means business.
I would ride with you again, Mrs. Adler, if you will ride with me.
Maybe. If you prove you can handle yourself.
Well, they say I lack finesse, but I ain't afraid of gun smoke.
I know she recently lost her husband, but I ship her and Arthur. The actors have great chemistry.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
What secret?
I got a secret of my own.
Are you secretly normal?
Excuse me?
Never mind.
He was sort of the black sheep on account of having left, but now they tolerate him.
Arthur reminding himself, it's for the money. It's for the money.
For me?
Yes.
Might I have it?
Sure. But it'll cost you. I can't be bothered. Here,
Take it.
Either that or he understands being in love and wants to help.
I have more of a artistic temperament, so...
Oh, is that what they call it?
Yes. Oh, you made a joke.
I pick up on jokes just about as well as Bo.
Are you talking about?
Arthur's above a little stick-up I heard about.
No, I'm not.
You just said.
Hey, I'll do it.
Damn, Arthur, check how quickly his pride gets wounded.
Have I ever lied to you?
I hardly know you.
Exactly.
Oh, Uncle.
Tough business you boys had.
We did?
Oh,
That cheeky little wink.
and the state a whole lot of income.
Love the tipsy-turvy camera work when centered on Sheriff Gray's drunk ass.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you there's a chain of command here.
There is?
Dang straight there is. This is a dangerous business, but follow my lead and you'll be just fine.
Sure. Hey! Archibald wants to remind us he's in charge here.
Of course.
Who else would be?
How nice of the boys to play along.
I said this place was crawling with vermin, and we just found ourselves the rat's nest par excellence, as they say in Paris. My aunt, she went to Paris back in '78.
Handle this.
Well, the way I see
Actually, let my friend here decide.
This dude is obviously not qualified to be a deputy. I mean, look how easily the gang tricked them.
I was gonna say you're like a son to me. But you're more than that.
What's more than a son? I guess a brother? But those relationships are very different. Compliments. The Braithwaite estate is so gorgeous in the way they have these trees lining the road.
Drive the stuff into Rhodes, head over to the tavern run by Mr. Gray, and give the stuff out for free.
Mama!
Hush now.
This bitch petty.
We'll need something.
I ain't playing dress up.
Something tells me this isn't the first time Arthur had to do this.
Try to rob them both.
You sure?
Why not?
Because we got lawmen in 3 different states after us.
Last thing I want is to get us into trouble, but we need money. Now, we have the opportunity here to put ourselves in the middle of something ain't nobody gonna know we was here.
Dutch has always got a reason to be doing some sort of robbing.
Before they figure out it was us that done it, and not the other lot, we'll be long gone. Think of it as payback for my daddy.
Revenge has been a staple of Dutch's character from Chapter 1 with Colm, so hearing this doesn't surprise me a lick. It just makes me sad.
We know what you do for this gang. We notice. Keep it up. You're gonna start seeing things change for you.
Okay, then. Okay. Thank you, Arthur.
Lenny is constantly doing the most and doing great things for the group.
That could have gone smoother.
That'll be on my gravestone.
Ouch.
Believed a yarn spun us by one of that Gray family, and imagined we was gonna be wonderfully rich. At the end of it, we felt like prize idiots.
The way these last few missions have been poised, it's becoming increasingly clear that both families are just using the gang.
Charles, I need you for some business in town. Come on.
Okay.
Hell yeah, Charles.
Everywhere we go, there's more and more civilization.
As Arthur says the word civilization, we are shown wires and lights.
The odds. I mean, is it worth the robbing?
Sometimes.
Love how simple-minded Arthur can be, even though we know he's way smarter.
Thank you. Oh, jolly good.
That delivery gets me every time.
You best stick to them books, because mark my words on this. Vengeance is an idiot's game.
Yo, Uncle Morgan, you want to go have a chat with Jack?
Ain't childbirth just the most beautiful miracle? Seems a lady can birth monkeys, after all.
I forgot how much I missed Hosea once he was gone.
You want a bottle, friend? Here. Have a wee drop.
Notice that Arthur hands Sean the bottle. I'm getting Far Cry 3 flashbacks.
But you know how I am in a fight, huh? Like a corner tiger.
Stick to cooking, Pearson.
Then he killed a woman I loved dear.
As you say, it's a long time ago.
Time should heal all wounds, and kind of in a way it does for Dutch.
Can we really afford to be fighting on all these fronts? And O'Driscoll.
There is wisdom in that.
The day Micah starts spouting wisdom is the end of days.
The promise of this great nation. Men created equal. Liberty and justice for all. All I ask is you try.
If you feel so strongly about this, why don't you write up your own Declaration of Independence and start a war with America, instead of running away? Sometimes you gotta fight for what you want, Dutch.
How's that score you stole off us?
Which one?
Even though Dutch stole from him, his outlaw ass can still find the humor in it.
I am sorry about your brother.
This might be one of the best things Dutch tries to do for the group, letting go of his hatred and lust for revenge on Colm. Part of me thinks the only reason he's willing to apologize is because they are all outlaws. Some honor among thieves. Arthur is one tough son of a bitch. I'm getting big Aragorn returning to Helm's Deep vibes right now. This is the first of Arthur's honor visions. I find it poignant the first time one comes is after his near-death experience. These visions seem to be an unconscious self-reflection of himself by himself.
Now it don't feel right. I could have told you.
Oh, what the fuck? Literally what I said when this happened. Rest in peace, Sean.
I will get that boy back, so help me God. Right now.
Dutch!
I love seeing Dutch's vigor for getting back Jack.
Need some extra guns?
Yeah, why not? Micah, Kieran, anyone strange turns up, you kill him.
Interesting that all our fighters go except for Micah and Kieran, the two newest members. One who was an O'Driscoll and the other who is a dick. I dig the formation they ride in, Dutch leading the pack of course, and Arthur being his right-hand man taking up the rear.
Enough talk. There is no point arguing how we got here. This is where we are, and we are going to fix it. So come on!
I like that mindset. Focus on what is and move forward.
Get down here now, you inbred trash!
Oh damn, does this walk-up feel so badass, along with that beautiful score on top. Wonderful.
Whatever complaint you have with us, alleged or otherwise,
Dutch would do great in court. Shame he couldn't be a part of the civilized world. Again, the score is just popping the fuck off!
No, reckon they're all dead.
that's right. Burn this dump to the ground.
Not often does a game make me feel disgusting and dirty, but watching Doug drag Mrs. Braithwaite down the stairs makes me feel that way.
I guess that's the end of the goddamn cribbage game.
Really? Now, Hosea?
Ain't no rules in war, mister.
Makes you no better than them, miss. Call me simple-minded, but I see beautiful center framing and I win it.
They took them to scare us.
This sounds familiar, doesn't it?
They're just trying to scare us into doing something stupid.
And who are you?
Rip Van Winkle.
Huh.
Rip Van Winkle is a story about a man who wakes up to a completely changed world, apt for what our gang is going through.
And to what do we owe the pleasure, Agent Moron?
Dutch doesn't even pay Agent Moron the respect of turning his direction.
This thing, it's done.
This place ain't no such thing.
Dutch only faces him when he challenges his way of life.
We should be going for Jack.
Mark, you joking? We made too much noise once again. We drew them right to us. I mean, how many people we killed in the past few weeks?
Far too many.
It's Dutch playing his games.
As awful as it is, sometimes it takes something awful like this to get your priorities straight.
George,
Yes?
could I have a word with you?
Not now. Can you believe that girl? All I've got going on, and she wants to talk.
Ugh, Dutch is awful. She's just a woman in love going through just as hard a time as you.
A real city. The future.
Shows this nasty polluted mess. It's a good visual to get us to stay on Dutch's side against our better judgment.
Kill him, Arthur!
You want that?
Love that Arthur asks Miss Tilly what she wants.
Why do you take his son?
Excuse me.
I said, why did you take his son?
Dutch tries to speak plainly before he realizes that Bronte knows English.
You had nothing to do with destroying the liquor business!
We was innocent bystanders. And that which we weren't innocent of, well, we most surely were ignorant of.
You twist words, you lie shamelessly, you think you are better than everyone else. Ti adoro. Date da bere sti uomini. Angelo Bronte.
Dutch's affinity for the civilized world is what gets him into the good graces of Bronte.
You boys found my tappies, watch it!
Of course they have an over-the-top organ in the cemetery level.
You sure you're okay, son?
I'm fine. Papa Bronte said you'd come for me.
Angelo treats Jack well. He's awful, but not a monster.
You got him. You got my son back. Dutch, Arthur, thank you. Thank you.
My son. And she doesn't even thank John. Ouch. But also realistic, because John literally left them for a whole ass year.
We are ridiculous. Utterly.
I ain't never been to a ball in my life. Nor have I, if I am being honest.
Oh, this is nice. They get to enjoy the festivities, even if not in the same manner as everyone else. Of course, Dutch has got a peacock with that top hat. Everyone but Arthur pats the man on the shoulder. Maybe this is just an insecurity speaking, but to me, patting someone on the shoulder like this isn't a sign of genuine respect, but condescending. So it endears me more to Arthur that he didn't.
Politics is a foul business.
Yes. Oh, and that one too. That is Alberto Fusar. Oh, and that is Hobart Crawley. Oh, the Redskins. I have no sympathy for them.
Bronte gossiping is such a departure from the life with the outlaws and is really good at showing what civilization does to us for the worse.
Non vedo l'ora di guardarti morire.
Bronte shouts, I look forward to seeing you die. Though chances are no one down there speaks Italian, it's still a little risky. Bronte's got a big boil.
Go, enjoy yourselves and mingle with this vulgar scum. It'll make you long for the days when you could shoot each other and screw cows out on the open range.
Those sure were the days.
Dutch has got to have no tongue here after how hard he had to bite it.
And like you, my time here is nigh on done.
Sooner than you realize. The set design of this poker room had my jaw on the floor. Rockstar can make a vast western landscape, but they still know what's going down with the intricacies of the industrial world.
And now you and Dutch have joined high society.
The whole game, Dutch and the gang are slowly getting pushed closer and closer to society against their will. There's no stopping the inevitability of industrialization. Seems the O'Driscolls have a sense for the theatrics.
So we should start looking for another camp.
You ain't thinking big enough, Arthur. You ain't seeing the vastness of our problems and our opportunities.
I'm not sure I get you.
You will, son. You will.
Shall we?
Yep.
More often than not, in the second half of the game, it's always these three together when Dutch is trying to spin something bad into an opportunity.
Bronte said this place has got money. Come on!
Notice the way Dutch plans a heist. Oh wait, he didn't. His plan is just to walk in there and rob him. 9 times out of 10, everyone's plans succeed, and it's always Dutch's that fail.
The thing's broke.
Arthur doesn't know what it's called.
Played me like a yokel.
Like a yokel? A yokel is exactly what you are.
This ain't about revenge, Hosea. Angelo Bronte don't mean shit to me. This is about the fact we are planning to rob a bank in his town. A bank that he no doubt protects. A town where his men are gunning for us. Before we do that, we need to put him out of commission.
I disagree. There's always an easier way.
There ain't no easier way.
Listening to why killing Bronte is justified makes my ears bleed.
But we need seed capital.
I know I've been harping on Dutch's relations to civilized culture, but come on, you hear what he just said? That's ripped straight out of the mouth of some bigwig.
No, I'm going in.
No, we can't lose the boat. Arthur will go.
I will?
Quick.
Of course, Dutch wouldn't go himself. He's always sending others to do his dirty work. Dutch is too precious to be risked or bothered. Another example is every time they make camp, he starts demanding the women to set everything up. I'm 100% sure he has never set up his own tent. Fuck Dutch.
Them Indians were savages.
Watch your mouth there, boy. Watch it. Only type of savage in these parts are moonshine, swilling, pompous, inbred locals.
Dutch.
What you saw was people who lost everything to savagery. Savagery of peasants. Failures come from Europe to reap some awful vengeance on God's last creation.
Like I mentioned at the start about Dutch being the 4th native on the mountain, he empathizes with them as he grossly thinks they are going through the same struggles. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not agreeing with Dutch that he should be the 4th native and has it just as hard as them. Just that he disgustingly believes so. The Mauser is a semi-auto pistol that fails him here, assuming through a jam. The modern world, for all its greatness, still has its faults. Just how he created a man like Bronte, just like how this pistol fails. I wish that's how John got his nose scarred.
Feeding the fella. The goddamn alligator, Dutch.
The part that covers weakness. That part. I don't know. Well, I do. It ain't nice. I know it. But it is us or him. I figure it might as well be him.
It's only John and Arthur left there, stunned by Dutch, some foreshadowing that it'll be these two together in the end.
That's what Jose is saying. It's as good a plan as any.
I think I agree.
Benjamin Byron Davis does such a wonderful job in this performance as Dutch. Dare I say I like it even more than Roger Clark?
What about the money in Blackwater? We're just gonna leave that behind?
Forget that. It's gone. You all talk like it's the only goddamn money in the world.
No, just Micah, you gaslighting asshole. The four main antagonists of the two RDR games run past Lenny's body, while Arthur and Charles take a moment to pay respects.
Yeah, where?
Any place will do.
God, I hate Dutch! They do such a good job writing his character, and not just writing, directing. This asshole just shoos Charles off the chair just because he's Dutch.
We die out there right now. Exactly. Now, everybody, calm down.
Nobody else is freaking out. It's just you, Dutch. He's really starting to lose it.
You go the other way.
What are you talking about?
You heard what I said.
Self-sacrifice. Antenor was a wise Trojan elder who wanted peace with the Greeks, and on some accounts was the man who opened the gates for them. Arthur somewhat is an embodiment of him. He is the reason Dutch and the rest of them die inadvertently, and understands that warring against society is a losing battle. It's expected and assumed, but their peeling burnt faces and grown-out hair is some nice attention to detail.
What's your name?
Aiden O'Malley.
Aiden O'Malley is a small nod to a character in GTA 4, a character whom you kill in the game on the request of another, just like Dutch in RDR 1.
We were lost at sea, in the storm.
Is that so?
No, I'm in the habit of looking like this.
How the hell are you gonna talk like that while this compromised? Like I mentioned earlier, mission names are great, and this is my favorite example, as Dutch believes himself to be benevolent towards the gang, but is actually truly a despot among them, and the juxtaposition of the phrase is expertly crafted.
We look like what we are.
Yeah, you're a greedy asshole. I mean, he dresses super similar to Leviticus Cornwell, chain and all.
I will do whatever it takes for us to survive.
Surviving is one thing, but being able to live with yourself after the fact is the trick.
The only one they took alive. Why is that, you think?
I don't know.
And Abigail, I presume she was able to slip away in time.
What are you talking about?
I think Arthur knows exactly what Dutch is getting at here and is only acting ignorant, just to see if Dutch will admit what he's accusing them of.
Dutch? What are you doing? Jesus. Easy, Dutch.
Killing someone in cold blood has always been against what Dutch believes. Sure, maybe this woman had a knife on him, but he could have easily overpowered her. He did not have to kill her. Just another sign of Dutch losing it. It's moments like this that make me enjoy not having subtitles on. I don't understand this man the same way Arthur doesn't. Makes me feel more connected to him.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Come on! My name is Leviticus Cornwall.
If I had $1 for every fake name created, I'd have a handful of dollars, but still, it's some nice contrast seeing Arthur save these men versus Dutch's recent egregious actions.
That's a goddamn warship.
You kinda have to hand it to this feller.
Shut up, Micah. This is about the biggest set piece of the game, and it's a blast to play through.
In this instance, I don't see we got any alternative, but we go and free our friendly captain and destroy the artillery.
For once, I agree with you.
Wow. Never thought I'd hear the day. These fucking two pushing each other on who goes down first.
You're going to let us live.
Here!
You know, I've always got to win some sauce like this.
Dutch Vanderlyn, I am sorry you got hurt.
Captain Sam.
Let's go.
Dutch has given me some real Negan vibes the way he treats this captain. You know, people are a resource.
Oh, look,
Looks like I jumped.
Okay. How did you folks find each other?
It's so nice seeing everyone happy, even if it is just for 2 seconds.
It was Mrs. Adler who saved us, Dutch. After the robbery in Saint Denis, she got us away from the camp before the Pinkertons turned up.
I want Sadie to run the gang, honestly. Arthur's sickness is finally starting to show some progress on his face. At first, we thought it was from the island, but he's cleaned up now and still looks like garbage.
Time! I killed your friends!
Really start to irritate me.
Every one of you!
God damn, that's so badass.
You saved us, Arthur.
Oh, man. Bill and Sadie.
Arthur is always the gentleman, making sure others get their due credit. This isn't the first time he's done this.
What next, Dutch? We just need some time. I need some time. Now, we can't go east, because then we'll be in the ocean, so we're gonna have to go north, I guess. I just need somebody to buy me some goddamn time, one of you.
Watching Dutch spiral like this is scary and satisfying at the same time.
Mister, are you okay? Mister, you don't look so good. Let's get you to a doctor.
Everyone deserves a kind stranger to help them when in need.
And that's Doctor, Mister to you.
I'm sorry.
I was joking.
Arthur is literally dying right now and still takes time to apologize to the doctor.
What is it?
It's not good news.
I guess that.
You got tuberculosis.
Arthur getting tuberculosis is a knife in the heart to so many, as at this time, we all know that tuberculosis is terminal. What it was like to be a patient in 1899, struggling to breathe while your doctor hits a pipe in front of you. This hazy walk with your entire map being lit is awesome. Arthur just learned he's gonna die soon and doesn't exactly know what to do. The whole map is lit up because right now, in his mind, he's searching for his purpose, and that could be found anywhere.
And you've as good as killed him yourself.
Edith Downs is one of the particular people Arthur remembers here, as it's that family which gave him tuberculosis. And Arthur then sees the coyote, or deer, which has been a representation of his deeds throughout the game, and he chases it, maybe for some hope to catch it and conquer it, but he can't. And my coyote leads me to the bar where Sadie is, but then takes a right away from it. To me, this is Arthur's fork. Go right and continue being a bad man, or go left into the bar and start making amends and help John. Yes, I know I'm pulling meaning and symbology from nowhere and chance of pathing, but that's what makes art amazing. Our experience of it and how we choose to interpret it.
Whole thing hit folks real hard. You can see it. Heron's gone falling fully into the bottle. Strauss is a bag of nerves. Swanson's actually gone and cleaned up his act.
Everyone deals with tragedy differently. Some take it in stride and become better, where others will fall in the step.
Well, ain't she coming?
Damn, I really wanted to see him in those funny goggles.
Why, a delicate flower like Mrs. Adler? Heavens above! Oh, but
Sadie spits to the idea of that.
wish us luck! I've only crashed twice.
I love this guy.
Did you breakfast in the city this morning, Mr. Morgan?
Not exactly.
Well, I have a boiled egg in my pocket here that you're very welcome to.
Why does he have a boiled egg in his pocket? Fuck you, O'Driscoll boys. He was having such a good time.
You got that poor bastard killed for his troubles. I kind of liked him.
Sadie was right, and I was starting to like him too.
Meet me at Copperhead Landing. Thank you, Arthur.
Okay, with that delivery, I have a massive crush now.
And considering a famous chess move. The game ain't over, Arthur. I mean, I ain't played my final move.
Literally, fuck Dutch. Chess is a game known for tactical sacrifices of its pieces. Problem here is that Dutch's pieces are actual human beings.
You sound like Hosea. I miss him.
Again, Byron Davies' performance is stellar.
I asked you a question.
What do you think?
And I seen you killing folk in cold blood like you always told me not to. And I'm sorry, but I can't help but think that if we
There is country in Roanoke Ridge past Butcher Creek.
Dutch was all ears to hearing Arthur's opinion until Arthur challenged Dutch on who he's become of late. After that, Dutch just makes his own decision without Arthur because Dutch can't have anyone questioning him.
Charles, will you ride with me?
Always.
For a third time, Charles rides with Arthur, needing no explanation. We all need a Charles in our life. Ride or die, bitch.
Guess I just miss Hosea and his wisdom, you know?
Little does Arthur realize that he does possess similar wisdom. Dutch even told him so moments earlier. It's just all that brainwashing and awful way Dutch treats him that he can't see it.
You're safe. It's okay. What do we do with her?
Take her then. I'll go get the others.
Sure.
Arthur has come a long way from when these two rode to find a new home last.
Mrs. Downs?
Oh no. You leave me alone. You just leave me alone.
Poor Mrs. Downs wasn't fortunate enough either not to contract tuberculosis. They could have just forgotten about her character, but to bring her back and show the impact Arthur and his gang have had on her is awesome.
How you get on?
Okay.
Remember when Arthur said Dutch would never go hide in some cave? Look where we are now. And I'll take this moment to talk about how wonderful each of the camps are in relation to the narrative. Our first one is in the mountains, almost kills us as we just botched a job in Blackwater. Once we are free of there, we find a nice cliff overlooking open land, a promise in view of the free life Dutch strives for. But we get moved down into the south next to a river. No longer high and mighty above, but on the ground level and not so open country no more. But not bad. Then we move again to Shady Belle, a dilapidated colonial house surrounded by swamp and alligators. The house is a representation of the group. It seems like they are doing well and moving up, getting to live inside a house, but no. The house is falling apart and surrounded by a swamp. The next camp in Lakay is in a literal swamp. Gross, disgusting, and not hospitable. The last camp is just a cave hole in the ground, previously owned by the Murphy brood, who are described and shown as horribly inbred yokels who murder, loot, and pillage all over. The gang move here when they are at their lowest and closest to falling apart, and the whole time, each camp is slowly moving farther and farther east, closer and closer to civilization.
You know the rules!
We're not so big now! Are we, Your Majesty?
You...
If it wasn't clear that this is the gang's end times, I think the death of Miss O'Shea is a clear indication.
I insist.
Sounds like Abigail's where Arthur got that line from.
We'll bring him back to you.
Thank you! Thank you both!
I'm probably wrong, but I think this is the first place in the main story that RDR2's main theme is used, and that's great, as going to get John is about the start of Arthur's journey to trying to redeem himself.
Milliken, is it?
Yes, sir.
Will you count for me? I got talking to do.
Yes, sir.
Out of here!
Come on, boss, let's move!
Aw, Sadie calls Arthur boss. Makes me wish he ran the gang instead of Dutch.
I had a goddamn plan!
You've always got a plan, Dutch.
I'm fit as a fiddle. And not inside you ain't.
I'm just a realist, friend.
Funny that Micah calls himself a realist and has become Dutch's new squeeze. Earlier in the story, Dutch said he hated the word because it lacked imagination. Now look at him.
No, I have heard it before. And get that army man to pay his portage charge.
Yes, sir.
Why do you have to poke his head out like that?
Figure out some things.
Of course, boss. Figure out what?
The plan. Getting out of here.
Well, if we didn't feel we were on the outs before, we sure do now.
Take it easy, cowboy. You're gonna do yourself a mischief, way you're heading.
Micah, shut it!
He started it!
If you've got Bill telling you to shut it, then I think you got some real problems.
All we seem to ever do is rob a stage, you and me.
Not me. You two. I got my own planning to do. You boys got this. Shit.
Micah's taking on all the worst traits of Dutch, going on planning and sending others to do the dirty work.
I'll take care of him.
No, I'm the better shot, and you're the better actor. No, you play dead, and I'll cover you.
I got that. I got that.
Love that Bill doesn't push back against Arthur's shooting and seems kind of excited to be the one acting.
Reverend Swanson, would you excuse us a minute? New York? We are gonna go to New York.
Literally, Dutch is the worst. His whole plan has been to get away from civilization and start anew, and now his plan involves going to New York, which is literally one of the biggest hubs of civilization.
This is another act of war.
I see that. Put your money away, son.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Eagle Flies. We all know what happens to people when Dutch calls them son.
You know I told your father I will not fight over some horses.
But I made no such promise. Come along.
Dutch has been wanting to hit back at society under the guise of, it'll help us escape. But this choice to help Eagle Flies is him laying his cards out on the table. He just wants to stick it back to civilization. That's all he cares about anymore.
Cornwall was funding the Pinkertons' assault on us. Why do you think I dealt with him? With Cornwall gone, the government is far more likely to divert them to other issues.
Dutch always has a great way of manipulatively... That's not a word. Explaining his ideas. Doesn't understand that in modern society, if it's not Cornwall, it'll just be someone else. Good idea.
I don't see no way out of any of this.
What about loyalty?
That's long been broken.
This is really cool, since Arthur's basically just looking in a mirror at his older self, or younger self? His self before he is this self.
For a silly idea. It don't even exist.
How you mean?
You know just what I mean.
And this subtlety is what makes this a great story. They don't have Arthur going on a diatribe about what he means. They just let it hang and have us come to our own conclusions.
But I am starting to see things clearly now. And I ain't being taken for a fool no more.
This is also great because all game he has been willingly calling himself and everyone he's with a fool. But now, not being one matters, as being one is going to lead everyone else to an early grave, same as him. A few times, Rockstar forces us to watch Arthur heave and struggle, which just fucking sucks, and I think you guys understand why. See what I did there?
This doubting and questioning of yours, I miss the old Arthur.
I miss the old Dutch, bitch.
But it is a task we must carry out if our civilization is to prosper. Gentlemen.
Seeing Colm lose his cool and start freaking out over his death made me feel a strange, conflicted sadness. Because I know he's a bad man, but to see someone's fear in the face of death, especially someone as hard as Colm, I don't know, just really hit me.
Ruined my life!
Love Sadie. Fuck the O'Driscolls for killing my flyboy.
I was just starting to dream the silliest and softest of dreams when I read about your recent activities in the newspaper. I miss you, and I will always miss you, but I cannot live like that. And it seems you cannot live any other way.
This letter is so tragic since Arthur really is making a change. It's just too late for him. For them. It really highlights how similar Arthur and John both are. Don't wait too long to start changing for the better, people.
Well, let's not get over sentimental. Well, the place is quiet. Get out of here. You go with my blessing.
Thank you, Arthur.
Because at this point, his blessing is probably all that matters to these people.
Just hop on a train to Saint Denis, jump on a boat, but avoid Guam.
Where?
Forget about it.
And leave these fine folks alone.
Who are you?
A concerned citizen.
Is that so?
Now Dutch is calling himself a citizen. Come on.
You can't fight nature, Captain. You can't fight change. You can't fight gravity.
I don't remember much from RDR1, sadly, because I was 14 last I played it. But I do remember Dutch's final words before committing suicide, and they are almost word for word what he says here. And that's bullshit to a degree. You can't fight nature or change with that attitude, and maybe I'm ignorant in thinking you can. Or maybe thinking you can, like Arthur, is what makes us strong and better.
My son. My last son. Don't.
Rains Fall's costume is a bit more civilized than his tribe, with his nice green vest and such. Sometimes compromise is the only way to survive, and it sucks really bad sometimes, but almost always is it better to breathe than not. Almost.
Go with him. Try and help there. I'm better off alone.
We're riding with you.
Come on, then. Yeah!
Let's ride!
Arthur's been building some real cred. How badass is this moment, though? Riding into a war zone just to save one man's son, and everyone being behind you.
I need help!
Dutch reveals his true self to Arthur, here in a hope to tie up another loose end. As his tuberculosis gets really bad, he ends up in the same mining town as Mrs. Downs.
I'm afraid I have to insist. I mean, we gotta let him go, cause...
Hell yeah, Arthur.
John? Insist?
Yeah.
Though I'm in love with Byron Davis' performance, Roger Clark still murders as well. Arthur here standing up to his father who has had all the power his whole life, and isn't completely sure of himself for a second. I mean, look at that eye dart. So good.
Of course, pal.
Pal? Pal? Not son? Oh, it's over, Dutch.
We need to keep riding on this one, Dutch. You know it. Every man here knows
So we
it.
just gonna let the boy be made an orphan? It ain't like that. What is it like?
I want to live, cowpoke. I still got the choice. Dutch, it's just a girl.
You're right. It's Micah. It pains me to say it, Arthur.
Sure, he's conflicted, so he's got a heart somewhere in there, and seeing that struggle's awesome.
But he's right.
But still, fuck you, Dutch.
I think you should cover me and I'll go in there and get her. 'Cause you're the better shot, I mean.
That ain't what you mean.
Look at those eyes. My 10-year-old niece can lie better than that.
Micah Bell. We picked him up when you boys came back from the Caribbean, and he's been a good boy ever since.
Now, there's evidence to back Milton's claim of Micah being the rat, but it's all circumstantial. I like the theory that Micah wasn't a rat and Milton just planted this seed to try and destroy the gang from the inside, which does succeed. And this plays more into the theme of civilized society, because Milton wins not through his physical power, but through him playing on the politics of the gang's code. Or he was a rat the whole time. Who knows? We don't. One last time, Arthur dons his hat. For me, it felt more powerful because I went all game not wearing one.
The many miles we walk, the many things we learn.
The song that plays here is just perfect for Arthur's last ride.
My pa used to say you stare into the fire long enough, you can see the whole world pass by.
I love that saying. As it pertains to Arthur, he can't let his life pass him by, especially now that he's got to make something of it before it's over.
We all need to have a little chat.
Black Long, you're back. Hooray.
Don't sound too overjoyed, Micah.
Dutch!
John?
John's alive. Who would have guessed?
All of you, you pick your side now because this is over. Oh, them years, Dutch. For this snake. Now! Who amongst you is with me?
Dutch has got to be going through some shit right now. I mean, his two sons turning against him and the only other man he might trust being called a rat. Being alone seems to be one of Dutch's worst fears. It's such a fucked situation, I love it.
Come on, brother. Let's go.
Give me a second.
Come on. Push, Arthur.
Thank you.
Arthur!
I have written here Arthur's goodbye to his horse and almost started crying again. I rode my horse, Little Fuck, from the second I got her in Valentine. Poor girl deserved better.
I'm coming with you. I'll get you out of this bullshit if it's the last goddamn thing I do.
I know I'm winning my own choice, but who didn't pick this option for real? Arthur and John fight their way up a mountain to rise above the rest and away from Dutch while surrounded by Pinkertons, juxtaposed with them riding down the mountain in the start towards Dutch, surrounded by wolves.
We ain't both gonna make it. Go. Now. I'll hold them off. Here.
Like a father giving his son a blessing. Man, does it feel good to finally punch Micah.
I gave you all I had.
I'm not crying. You are.
We made it. We won. Come on.
John made it. He's the only one. The rest of us... No. But I tried. In the end...
And through John, you did too.
Damn you. Damn us both!
Oh no! Why do they have to frame it in such an inconsequential way? The camera work makes Arthur's death feels like it means nothing and that he was just dirt under Micah's shoe. Just makes his death sting even more. And if Arthur was to have a song be his theme, it would for sure be Unshaken, as all the lyrics pertain exactly to his arc. Who expected a 2-chapter epilogue with John? That's right, no one, and the story's all better for it.
Let's see what we can find in Strawberry. What do you know about Strawberry?
That the population got raised to 0 a few years back.
Time's hard, Mr.
Milton. Jim Milton.
Took the name Milton to try and be a more civilized man, but for real, you had to keep the first name 2 letters?
I'll stay here. Get on with the work. You deliver them goods and then collect me.
Collect me. Man, they had some weird ways of speaking back in the day.
I'm a good worker. My wife, Agatha, even our boy, Lancelot.
See, though John doesn't like Jack's love for books, he was still listening to him talk about what he was reading.
No, it was nothing, sir.
I'm David Geddes. Pleased to meet you.
John, Jim, Milton.
Note to everyone, don't make your fake name so close to your real one.
Make sure he works extra hard.
Better work as hard as 2 men since you got 2 names, right?
Almost got a pail full.
Jim Milton, the fastest milker in the West. Some people hate this. I think it's a great breather and change of pace from all the heists and gunfights, and beautiful for John's character trying to go straight for his woman.
When Mr. Geddes goes into town, well, it ain't exactly for,
business.
I don't know. Some people might still call it that.
Feel free to make a call at the house sometime. Perhaps even now. A drink to toast our new arrival.
I'd like that, but my wife is expecting me back.
Oh.
Nice save, John.
Hey, keep practicing your riding.
You too.
Nothing like a father and son bonding.
Anybody want some more?
No,
no,
I'm
thank
good.
you.
I miss Mr. Pearson.
I don't care what you used to do or what your name is. This is the land of second chances.
Talking about America or Pronghorn? Both fit. And we get John's theme back from RDR1? Yes! Yes! Yes!
Now, I don't think they'll be back tonight, but how about Abe? Just in case you stay up.
Yep.
You see anything or hear anything, you fire that rifle 3 times.
Love how John falls right back in and takes the lead on defending the ranch.
I got a goddamn price on my head, woman.
I know all about that.
Okay, that shit is a little too real for me. Seeing Jack just ignore his parents fighting and focusing on his book looks like me with my video games.
Just feels hopeless.
You're doing better.
That low-key almost made me cry.
I've tried everything I know to make you grow up. And you know I love you, but loving you means I can't watch you do this.
Abigail's letter is very similar to Mary's. I was hoping the gift would have been his vest, but it's even more powerful that it's just a normal shirt, as that's all she wants out of John. Oh, hell yes. The reveal of John's main outfit is treated with all the respect it deserves.
But if my cousin vouches for you, it'll be okay with the bank.
If loans were that easy, we'd find a lot more people in trouble. Who am I kidding? We got credit cards.
About buying this place, it's really run down and the price isn't too great.
I think it would mean a lot for my wife. At least mean I was listening to her.
I love how sweet John is on Abigail, just doing everything he can to get her back.
A rule and a saw and a board and I'll cut it.
This house building montage was awesome. So nice to just relax with Charles and Uncle to build this house. It's honestly one of my favorite cutscenes in the game.
The broadside to Mount Sears. Come bustle, bustle, drink about and let us merry be.
This is a close second, just seeing everyone so happy and messing around. This montage is cut in the same way as when John was at Pronghorn. This does put a smile on my face.
It's fine being out with you, even though I can't say the right thing.
And you, Pop.
And if you didn't know how disconnected John was with this son, just compare this to Arthur's trip with him. Aw, he wants to get a picture just like Arthur and Mary did.
We'd like to get our photo taken. So, what do we do?
And of course, these country ex-outlaws would be super awkward doing something like this.
Tough guy. Gunslinger.
This is too cute. Going around enjoying the perks of civilization and not running from it. And also, these two just have a lot of chemistry.
Will you marry me?
Get up. I am married to you.
No, I mean proper. In front of God.
You serious? I didn't know it mattered to you.
Now it does. Sorry.
Shut up, you silly man, and kiss me.
People say Arthur's death had them the most emotional, but for me, it was right here that got me. I've got a soft spot for people in love. Ah, bookends, right? Going back to the Snowy Mountains, just like the start.
In a minute. Ain't you got a habit of just showing up?
When I got something to take care of, sure.
Just you left, is it?
Yeah. Just me.
Am I going to win every time John's theme comes in? Yes.
Hello, Scarface.
Micah and his 2-syllable nicknames.
Come on now, Micah. At least die like a man.
Said he is such a badass, climbing the rest of the mountains, sneaking around, and getting the jump on Micah.
Say something, Dutch. Say something.
I ain't Got too much to say, no more.
For once, damn. And Dutch doesn't even get redeemed through this action, but it could have been a start for him.
That's right! Fuck you, Micah!
It's over, Abigail. It's all over.
And the Red Dead story ends here, and there isn't another game, and John lives happily ever after, and you cannot say otherwise. This game is ungodly long, for good reason. I think it might be the longest game I've played in recent memory. Definitely the longest game for the channel so far. And I know some believe RDR2 feels padded out and has a lot of unnecessary filler, and to that I say, sure, if the game wasn't going for one of the most realistic human stories I've ever experienced. We've got other really human stories like The Last of Us and God of War, but this one is real in the way that life doesn't really have these huge moments of revelation. For most, big changes in life come from small moments compounded upon each other, but for Arthur, it took his diagnosis to truly see what matters and who he wanted to be. It's the nuance in the storytelling that makes RDR2 so fantastic and meaningful to us. It might just be me, because for all the fancy words and analysis I try to do, I view myself as a very pea-sized brain individual. Like, I don't have any degrees or any credibility to be doing anything really. I'm just a guy that really enjoys stories and video games. I digress. With that said, during my first playthrough, I was bored as hell because it felt like we were just going from one heist of a sort to another, and then packing up and moving occasionally. Devoid of character development and story. Yes, now I recognize how silly I was being. The length of the game is paramount in showing how complex people are in reality. People don't often shift on a dime, and that much is clear with Dutch, who really is, to me, the main and most interesting character in the story. I know I'm alone in this, but I didn't fall in love with Arthur the way everyone else did. I can't even put my finger on why. When he died brutally, I was shocked, but I wasn't sad. I know I'm gonna catch flack for that one. I did fall in love with Dutch, though. There's something about a man so delusional, thinking so desperately he's right, just to fail the same, that I enjoy watching so much. This is the same reason I am absolutely in love with Walter White from Breaking Bad. Watching Dutch's undoing couldn't have been more satisfying. I did not like Dutch from a personal standpoint from Chapter 2, because like I mentioned earlier, I saw exactly what type of man he was. I hated him, which is why he's such a brilliantly written character and why I love to hate him. The way he constantly gaslights everyone, strings them along, and plays them is masterful. He Trojan horses his way into the hearts of everyone in the gang and rips them all out by the end. Arthur is the protagonist and player character of the game, but this is almost more Dutch's story than his. Everything is about his decisions and how that affects everyone, and how the result of those decisions affects him. Like, Rockstar pretty much wrote a whole nother game just to give a backstory to Dutch, and to a lesser extent, Phil and John's history as well. I'll get to Arthur, I'm not discrediting his arc. We wanted to like Dutch with every fiber of our being. We wanted the gang to be okay, but those who know the plot of the first game knew that it wasn't going to be. And knowing that they're doomed makes this story so much more engaging, I feel. I feel fortunate that I completely forgot the plot and story of the first game while going through this. But even without that knowledge, from the second mission in the game, I completely felt the vibe that everything was going to fall apart, Assassin's Creed 4 style. I wish I could put a pin on what exactly it was that made me feel this, but I can't. I'm going to chalk it up to the entire presentation of the first chapter. Dutch is the perfect example of what holding on to a failing idea can do to you, and how toxic it can be to those around you. And also how destructive and easy it can be to lie to yourself. And finally, and this doesn't just apply to Dutch, but seeing things from the outside can really reveal the truth in the matter. Agent Milton hits the nail on the head when he asks Dutch, who made you the messiah to these lost souls? All they've known is being outlaws, and changing is the scariest, worst thing to them. Most of them finally wake up to the fact that the world has changed. John, and Arthur most importantly. Arthur Morgan is a character made entirely to highlight just how much Dutch, and to a degree John, aren't willing to change. Arthur is a smart and pragmatic man. From Chapter 2, we see him telling Dutch that they live in a world that don't want them no more. Arthur completely understands the reality of the world, but stays loyal to Dutch, all because he raised him. Like, Arthur doesn't even really believe in the idea of them creating a world together, he just trusts Dutch blindly. Though he does question him and worry, those never outweigh the history they have together. Upon looking at the way Arthur treats Dutch before the diagnosis, the Vanderlyn gang isn't a gang. It's a cult of personality. It's only after Arthur realizes his days are numbered that he needs to make a change. This is when the real Arthur, independent of Dutch's brainwashing, comes out. I mean, look at the way Dutch reacts every time Arthur stands up to him. He's angry and upset because it's always been his way or the highway. Anyway, I don't think I fell in love with Arthur because he's Dutch's lapdog until he realizes he's gonna die soon, and only then does he decide to be better and try to redeem himself for all the wrong he's done. Let me mention that I understand that it's up to the player to decide whether to be honor bound or not, which to me removes some of the power from his arc. Arthur is who we make him, so he feels more of a conduit to enjoy every other character's story, which is okay. And I'm going off script right here. I do understand the point of Arthur being Dutch's lapdog and how family and stuff like that, it's really hard to get away from and see beyond, you know, when you grow up with somebody and how they raise you. It's tough. I get that. But he's a grown 30-year-old man, so I kind of lose sympathy for that. Anyway, back to him being better. The seeds were planted before he found out about the tuberculosis, but we can't know if he would have gone out of his way to give John the life he knew they all deserved, had he not gotten sick. I love that Arthur essentially gave up his life to give John a chance at the New World, but it feels less impactful because he was going to die very soon. I feel that he wouldn't have done that without the TB, and I feel it's a missed opportunity to not have Arthur sacrifice his potential for John's. Think about that. John and Arthur both running at the end. Arthur finally realizes what truly matters and has hopes of being with Mary. Same as John with Abigail, but at the end, they both won't make it and Arthur decides to lay down his life. I don't know, maybe that's too cliche for some, and not in line with the main themes of the game, which is inevitability. Maybe it's the way I chose to play Arthur that made me not connect with him the way others did. I don't know. Maybe it's the choice of making Arthur who you want him to be that made everyone fall in love with him, since you get to mold him into the perfect protagonist from your perspective. I guess I'm realizing I'd rather not have a say in what kind of person my protagonist is and just accept who the author decides them to be, good or bad. But of course, disregarding our own choices as him, he still does good deeds without our input, such as save John from prison, rescue Abigail, and stand up to Dutch throughout the final act. I'm so conflicted on my feelings with Arthur, and I'm gonna chalk that up to great writing. And before anybody loses their shit at me about being a hypocrite and this not being a good analysis of the story's themes and characters, I write these conclusions as a stream of consciousness of my feelings about the game. In a way, I'm talking through my conflict with Arthur with you guys right here in the script, and would love to start a conversation down below about his character. I'm not trying to write an English essay with proper formatting and perfect succinct layering of my points. I'm just a guy talking about video games. Sorry, I felt I had to say that. This game is a lot to unpack, like a holy fuck ton, and because of that, I really just wanted to mention our main three characters. John's epilogue might have been my favorite string of missions in the game, because it's more clearly character-driven than the main game. Like I said, P-Brain. Yes, the main game is 100% character-driven, even if it doesn't feel like it at times, which is, like I said, still a win, because life and all that I mentioned earlier. But I really enjoyed spending time with John, trying to do his best for his family, and completely surrendering to the new world he fought so hard in the main game. Maybe it's because I'm soft on John, even though I don't remember the first game's story or plot much, I still remember how it made me feel. I think it's the family element that really brought me in. Sure, the gang was a family, but it was always hollow to me when people would say it. But with John, it's his literal family. The date mission had me smiling ear to ear when I was playing it, with the cherry on top of the proposal. Done. I'm dead. Fade to black there. I'm satisfied. Seriously though, I've heard people didn't play the epilogue, which is insane, especially hearing how much people loved Arthur's character, as we get to see the payoff of his sacrifice through John. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a complex game, better suited, I feel, as a discussion than analysis. It's also better suited for a TV show than a game. I'm kidding. I'm only saying that because I'm not a fan of all the sim elements. I would have preferred a more arcade style like the first game, but that's besides the point. I'm glad to say I played it, and I'm very happy to have made this video for you guys. And don't forget, I miss things. Of course I did. Games are massive, and I'll never be able to catch everything. But I hope through me talking about my favorite parts of these stories, you find a greater appreciation from them and desire to seek out your own wins. But I want to leave you with this. Remember, we all die. So, don't wait till it's too late to be better, because we can always be better.